If you like when artists use repurposed materials to create working products, then you need to check out Strada Soul. Jason, the founder and creative genius of Strada Soul, creates all his designs by using repurposed bicycle inner tubes and other materials into personal and bicycle accessories. I personally have 2 extra large hydro buckets and a great under seat bag that are high quality and made to last. They are affordable. Plus, you're supporting an independent artist. So if you want durable, expertly handcrafted products made from upcycled materials, then check out Strada Soul. Link in the description to see all the top-notch products. Now, enjoy the episode.
Friends from the Road. You are now listening to the Friends from the Road podcast.
Gaining new friends along the journey. Sharing stories that inspire, encourage, and motivate.
Friends from the Road podcast. Now here's your host, Daniel Hurd.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Friends from the Road. Today, I am in Haverhill, Massachusetts, hanging out with a friend, not just from the road, but a friend from childhood, a friend through thick and thin, ups and downs, and everything in between, and a friend and partner for the One Pedal at a Time movement. He is the original, one of the last founding members of the OPAATM movement, and he is here. I am here with him today, visiting his spot after 3 years of being away from home, and it's good to be here. Right now, we are sitting here, like I said, in Haverhill, Mass. This morning, we went for a bike ride for about 17 and a half miles around the area. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful morning. The sun was out, close to 60 degrees. It wasn't bad. Now that we're inside, we're hanging out in this loft-style apartment. It's got a little bit of overcast. It's a little grayer. I can feel it in my knees a little more than I did before. But we're still having a good time. And so with no further ado, please welcome my friend, Rob Loesher.
My pleasure to be here. I'm glad that you came back and you visited me and that I had somewhere for you to stay.
Me too, man.
A couple nights now, right?
Yeah, 2 nights. And, I know it's a few days early while we're recording this, but when it comes out, it'll be past your birthday. So happy early birthday now and happy birthday later.
Thank you. Happy belated birthday to yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it's, us April babies stick together. We're the best. April's the best. I'm biased. That's all.
Can confirm.
So, today, Rob, I was really interested in getting you on here because of several reasons. The fact that one, you're part of the organization, the OPAATM movement. When I asked you to join, you didn't even hesitate. You were all about it. And at the same time, and we'll talk about it more after the break, but you got into cycling around the same time as me.
That's correct.
And I'm really excited to hear about that, and I'm really excited to see where that's taken you over the last few years. But let's save that for later. For now, I want to get into something that you're really very passionate about. And I kind of want to figure out the roots to it. And we're going to talk more about this as well. The passionate thing that you have is music.
Yes, indeed. Love it.
If you guys will see, I'll post the links down in the description for Rob's social media and anything else that he wants to share. But he's like me when it comes to cycling with his music. He's very passionate about it. He takes it very seriously. He goes to the next level, which wouldn't be above and beyond if it was for anybody else. I mean, everybody else would think it's above and beyond, but to us, it's just getting the job done.
It's what was required.
Exactly. So, I don't remember, maybe I'm wrong, remind me if I am. I don't remember you playing instruments in middle school or elementary school or high school. So when did that start?
It started in high school. I was really good at hacky sack, and there's the thing I did, and no one, not that no one cares about hacky sack. There's worldwide competitions, but most people.
I played hacky sack with you. I know.
It was a little hobby, but you're not going to make a lot of money or become famous from it, and that was what was important to my father. And so he was like, "Yeah, that's cool, dude, but why don't you learn something cool like guitar, and then you can be up on stage doing a solo, and everyone be like, yeah, Robert." So I picked up a guitar, and you didn't know that I played it because I was awful at it, and I didn't play in front of people for years.
Yeah. So when did I'm glad you got into it. Obviously, it sounds like you did for the wrong reason at first.
Yeah, it did.
It sounds like, from my perspective, it sounds like you were trying to appease your dad.
Yeah, to a degree it
to a-
was. Yeah.
But you know what? As it is for me, people know my story, and if you don't, I'll tell you real quick. I got into cycling because I planned on committing my fourth suicide attempt. I shouldn't have gone on that ride for those reasons, but it got me to get out there. And to be honest, it changed my life, as you know, and as everybody listening has hopefully known at this point. If you havenent, you can check it out at ridewithdanusa.com. You can see the website, OPAATmovement.com. I'm a changed man because of cycling. And it sounds like music has done that for you. Is that fair enough?
I would say that's accurate. I've stuck with it so much that I spent an entire year of my life as a full-time musician, and that was my income.
Okay. Well, another thing is, not that you've ever been like an isolating person like some of our other friends that we know, but you weren't really an extrovert, right? Or an introvert. I mean, you were kind of
just in between. Yeah,
a little bit of in
and
between.
so I had to really put myself out there in order to become.
And now you are
anything.
like a full blown. I feel like, not always, but I think you're more of an extrovert than an introvert.
I have to for
what
my
you do.
current career and my music, everything.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really made you blossom. Is that accurate to say?
I don't think that I can say it's inaccurate how you feel, but I would agree with that statement.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about, some of the struggles tell us some of the things that really made it so that music and cycling and these activities that you get into, what has made it so that you want your music to go as far as it is?
I'm doing it for myself
Yeah.
now.
Did it start like that?
It did not.
Okay.
I was doing
Let's
that.
talk about that.
Well, I started because I kind of wanted to just make my parents proud, and they are. And now that I'm an adult, I can see that, but at the time, I could not. And I was just doing what I could to try to get that attaboy. Not directly; it's a subconscious analysis of it. But I kept driving towards it. I had, in high school, I had perfect attendance until senior year. And the only reason I didn't in senior year is because I was told in 5th grade, that's when I started having perfect attendance, you'd get a full scholarship. So I went to class every day, and then I found out that's not true. You get a certificate, and that's it. So I skipped as many days as I could. But I had full perfect attendance, honor roll, I was student of the month, all these things, and I just never felt like it was valued, so I just kept trying. Eventually, guitar stuck. Attendance didn't, because I'll call out of work here and there. But the guitar stuck, and then evolved into music, and now I play bass, drums, started to dabble with piano.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of everything. You're also writing your own music. You're doing everything yourself.
Yeah, and I have my own recording studio at my house. Mixing,
you're
mastering.
splicing it all. I saw you doing some last night. What was that new jam that you got that you're working on now that's coming out?
Save Me.
Save Me. That's it.
It's a song about how I can't stop being in my own way. I have all the things that I want, and I don't really care so much about what. I don't care about material possessions as much anymore, and I just cared too much about it for too long. So the song's about how I keep buying things I shouldn't need, and I really just want to be happy and loved, and I'm working towards that, and I'm finding it more and more every day.
Yeah, no, and I can relate to that in a lot of ways because I've dealt with the same things, materialistic wise, and I think that's why I love what I do now, is because I'm not the most minimalistic person, but it's a lot more minimalist than I used to be.
Yeah, I'm still materialistic. I'm just nowhere near as materialistic as I used to be.
Fair enough. Something that I wanted to bring it up, and I'm going to have a commercial come out about it today too. Is for this episode, we got to talk about what we're drinking, man.
Oh, Athletic Brewing.
Yeah, Athletic Brewing, guys. You guys have heard me talk about it. You've heard the ads. I'm an ambassador for them. I am excited that I was able to get you on it, or were you already on them before that?
Oh, it was you. I saw that a friend of mine was an ambassador, and it was important to him. And obviously with OPAATM and being involved, I decided I had to at least try. I love beer.
How are they?
So I think it's fantastic. What I don't use it to stop drinking beer. I use it because way less calories. I still get the taste of beer. It can still be social. And alcohol affects your sleep schedule. And so I can just end the night with 2 of these. Like if I'm going out for a couple beers with my friends, I have 2 beers and then finish with 2 of these and then I can sleep well. So I'm using it to space out the alcohol beer and cut down calories. And it does not cut down taste. And I'm not getting paid to say that.
Yeah, no, and he's drinking right now, guys. He's drinking the Upside Down. He's already told me, and he'll say it again, I'm sure. That's his favorite one because it's the 50-calorie beer.
Yep.
It's low calorie. It's got full good taste. Right now, I'm drinking the Free Wave, the Hazy IPA. They just made it a flagship for the Hazy Free Wave, and to be honest, I'm thankful they did because that is my favorite. But yeah, I'm glad you got onto those. I'm glad that you don't have any alcoholic issues, but I'm glad that you're willing to at least balance it out with some different alternatives. And Athletic Brewing, they make some really good stuff. So I'm really glad that we're able to have those together while we're having this conversation. But is there any more that you want to share about your backstory before we take a break?
So when we went to middle school and high school together. And in middle school, we were much closer. We were still close in high school because we went to a regional school.
Yes.
And because we went to a regional school, we were the people from our town. And so we knew each other. We didn't know anybody else. And like most friendships over the course of decades at this point,
Yeah.
there have been plenty of times we didn't talk for no reason other than Dan was out in the military doing his thing. I was out moving around Massachusetts because I've never left Mass, but I've been all throughout it. And just keep coming back, and it's always...
Well, hold on. Before you say you've never left Mass, you've left Mass. You just never lived outside of Mass.
Correct. Oh, I travel for work. So him and I, as soon as we start talking again, it's like, oh, hey, man. Hey, what's up? No, you smell. Like, it's just friendships right from there. Like, there was no gap. Like, it's just from wherever we left off, and I've always valued that about you.
Yeah, no, me as well. I know there was when we got into cycling. Right before I started my journey, I had come over to your place there in Carver, and that was the first time we had hung out since probably high school. I think it was.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was almost 10 years that we hadn't physically hung out, but we've kept in touch and stuff. Obviously, you grew up. Well, various different places. You see me live everywhere between foster care and everything else. But in high school, I only lived like a quarter mile away from you on the same street. So
I think we hung out 3 times, and once was a prom party.
Yes, yes. Maybe a prom party. It was definitely.
It was something.
It was some party.
It was fun. I remember that.
But yeah, it was going to vocational school. Do you do what you don't do anything in what you did for Voc anymore, right?
So I kind of do.
You were in electronics, right?
I was in electronics, and now I'm doing computer programming.
Okay.
But a lot of the computer programming we're doing also incorporates the electronic hardware that's included. And so some of it's wired, some of it connects wirelessly, and so there's a fraction of similarity there. I wouldn't say that it's correlated, but it's related, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's more than I've been doing lately. I went to machining, which
you operate a machine every day.
Yeah, my machine. But it's not the same. I'm looking forward to getting back into metal fabrication. I enjoy it, but at the same time, it's a different world. I kind of feel like I need to kind of start doing what you're doing and become more remote working abilities. I'm not tech savvy as much as I do tech stuff. I just don't have my confidence is what I need. But
I've learned how to fix VCRs for 4 years straight. So I didn't have much confidence when I left.
Well, yeah, especially if we don't use VCRs anymore.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that someone listening to this, like, what's a VCR?
Oh, 100%.
They're used to play VHSs, which definitely didn't help anybody who didn't know what a VHR is.
Yeah, VHS is, what is that? Video home system? Is that what that is?
Maybe.
I think that's what it stands for.
I think
don't
it
even
stands for old.
know. Yeah, it's the old. So yeah, it was really, I'm glad that we've been able to keep in touch over these years. I'm glad that we have taken it to the next level with OPAATM and just trying to make a difference. Either one person, one pedal, one conversation podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's
One birthday at a time.
One birthday at a time. So, again, I'm thankful that we've had this opportunity. And again, going for a bike ride, that was awesome.
It's my first one this year.
How did it feel?
A little chilly, but fine.
Yeah, how'd your body feel?
Oh, the body was fine. I've done the bare minimum to make sure that I could still do a bike ride.
When you say bare minimum, what do you mean?
I do a little bit of yoga here and there. I've ridden on the rollers once every 3 weeks.
Rollers or stationary?
Rollers.
Like actual rollers?
Rollers.
Like 3-bar thing rollers?
I know you're trying to doubt my terminology here, but I firmly stand. They are rollers.
Okay, all right, because those are awesome.
Yes.
They're a workout. I actually encourage people to get rollers because they are like really working your core.
And the little muscles that adjust.
Yeah, that and as crazy it is, it's like you're riding on ice, but you're also riding on like a 10% incline because as soon as you stop pedaling, it stops.
Yep.
So
and do it right where we're sitting. I watch a TV show. I actually started watching Diners, Dives, and Drive-Ins. I think that's what it is.
Only while you're...
Yeah, because it's like a 25-minute episode. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this one episode about food that I can't wait to eat. And then when I'm done sweating and working it off, I'm going to add all those calories back and get whatever Guy Fieri just showed me.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I want to get into talking about your music and the things that you're doing with that, especially as you're getting ready you're producing your own album, right?
Yeah.
You're doing a full album or you're doing a...
That's yet to be seen.
All right.
It's probably going to be a long EP,
okay.
If not a series of single releases, because the whole industry's changed at this point.
It has, and it's going to keep changing. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk about your music and cycling.
Let's do it.
Hey people, I wanted to talk about Athletic Brewing. At Athletic Brewing Company, they are pioneering a craft beer revolution. They believe you shouldn't have to sacrifice the ability to be healthy, active, or at your best to enjoy great brews. So they created an innovative lineup of non-alcoholic, refreshing craft brews. Right now, I'm enjoying their All Out, a delightfully smooth and soul-warming extra dark stout. Try Athletic Brewing for yourself through the link in the description and use RWD20 for 20% off your first order. Brews without compromise. Enjoy the episode. And we're back. Rob, before the break, we were talking about quite a few things, but one of those things was cycling. And as you know, I got into cycling because of Sean Carr. He took me out on his bicycles, but you didn't really have that. So what led you to cycling?
I was overweight.
Okay. I get that. I was too.
I had been 155 pounds since high school, and that was that. And all of a sudden, all of the years of everyone saying, oh, enjoy it now, you get older. It's about 27, it started to deteriorate a little. And the next thing I knew, by the time I was 28, 29, I was almost 200 pounds. It was when I was working full-time as a musician, where my job would be to go out at the bar. They would comp my meals, and it's always bar food, drinking beers. I'd get home 2, 3 in the morning after you sober up and can drive, and then I'd sleep until 2. And that was my life every night. And so I just started putting on weight. And I started with a diet. I started home cooking everything, make my own pasta, everything. And my theory was it expended more calories creating it, and I could put less sugars, fats, things that I didn't want in the food. And I stopped gaining weight. But I tried playing football with some friends, and it was fun, but it wasn't something I was going to keep doing. I tried running. It was not fun, so it was not something I was going to keep doing. And I lived on a pond, and I kayak, and I thoroughly enjoy kayaking, but I really like lying in the middle of the pond and enjoying the view more than the actual kayaking. So I remembered I had a bike, And I had gotten this bike when I had helped a coworker years ago organize their garage and fix their lawn that was very overgrown. And as a payment, I got this bike, and its derailleur was broken. And I thought at the time I needed to get the specific derailleur for the Fuji bike. And so I never went to get it fixed. So I found it, dusted it off, brought it to the bike shop, and they're like, we'll fix it for like $200, everything done. I was like, cool. Did that, and got on it. And ever since then, I started riding my bike. I had a part-time job at a local retailer, and it was like 6 or 7 miles. I'd ride it there. I'd work all day and ride it back.
Is that local retailer was Dick's?
Yes,
Okay.
it was.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because that's where I saw you.
Yeah, it is. Right before you left, too.
Now, so do you know when your first bicycle ride was? Do you remember? Was it in 2018
I cannot
or
remember.
2017?
It's probably 17.
I started mine in 17.
It was 17 because... Yes, it was 2017.
Okay. So, yeah, you got into cycling after trying a bunch of stuff. When did you start seeing improvements?
You know, that I don't really know. I just know that one day I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm not overweight anymore. This is great.
Okay, so you were seeing improvements, but you didn't notice it until
Correct.
it all hit at once. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm not embarrassed to take my shirt off anymore. And then since then, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 times I've hit that and then gone back, hit that and gone back. And now I'm at the point where I still put on weight in the winter, but not as much as I was before.
And as we've said several times, because you know how I am, I'm a little heavy right now from the accident and everything, but I'm not worried about it because as soon as we get on the bikes, a couple weeks into biking, we're going to lose it. We're going to be...
Same with me. I'm 8 miles from work, and it's a pretty straightforward ride. So 16 miles a day, no problem. Love it.
Yeah, and 16 miles sounds like a lot for a lot of people, but really, it's not. Especially on a road bike. My first ride was 5 miles, and I asked my dad to drive me home because I could not make it back. Yeah, but over time, what's your biggest ride? What's your biggest ride so far? Was it P-Town? 80 miles. Was that the P-Town ride? I went from off of Cape Cod, and I rode to the tip of Cape Cod. Okay, and then took the ferry back. No, I had a relative pick me up, and they met me down there. But I went with my brother and one other individual. My brother and I made it. The other individual quit at Truro. Okay. And, I mean, it's pretty close. But my brother and I got the claim to fame. If I didn't ride with them, I'm sure it wasn't true, but I felt like I could have gotten back. It would have taken an extra day, but I thought I could. Yeah. I probably couldn't have, but it felt like I was. I know. Isn't it crazy? Like, when you get on a ride, you're like, man, I feel like it could go twice as far. It is. And it's like, how? I just did all this. But then you're like, nah, I know I could, but I'm going to regret it. To me, the first 5 miles are the hardest. And as soon as those are done, yeah, we're good. Yeah. And it's the more I cycle, so that was originally. Now it's the first 2, maybe 3 miles. So I'm getting to the point where I want to just be like 2 miles in and I'm ready. Yeah, see, I hope that I get to that point. At least on my touring bike loaded, it takes me about 8 to 10 miles to get warmed up. Riding with you today with no gear, the lightest bike that I've ridden in over a year. I don't even think I had a warm-up time. So, those are the cool things. But since then, you've gone into multiple layers of cycling, biking. You went from that Fuji, which you don't have anymore, right? Correct. I got a bike from Dick's, and I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I remember you had that for a little while, and then you got should we say like a real bike? Oh yeah, I went all out. You went all out with a Trek. Uh-huh. Not even just a regular Trek. Like I have a Cannondale. It's an aluminum bicycle. During the time it was made in the USA, it's a good bike. It is garbage compared to your Trek. I didn't want to. So I got the first bike. I got it fixed.
Then after I rode it enough, I'm like, okay, it's worth investing in. And I got the bike from Dick's for $124.99. It was a $500 or $600 bike. It was clearance. But nobody put a tag on it. And when I went in to go tag the rest of the bikes, it was on its like last leg 8th discount clearance.
Wow.
So I bought it, and it was definitely an improvement. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to invest in like the last bike that I need to buy, which never works out. Anybody who has a hobby knows that. But I went in and I special ordered Rage Red, and it was carbon fiber with disc brakes, and I think it's a Amonda SL6 disc.
It's a pretty bike. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty bike. I don't know if I'd buy it though. I'm more interested in your next bike that we're going to talk about because I love road to an extent. I'm afraid of the road nowadays. I'm learning that it's not so bad in cities. That's just for the last couple of days of riding in the cities. I'm not as afraid, but the cars aren't going 70 miles an hour.
Correct.
They're going like 25. And in a lot of cases on a bike that I have now, I'm going faster than the cars. So, for those situations, I feel like it's, I'm not afraid of the roads then, but I'm afraid of the roads otherwise. So I am looking forward. That's why I got my Jones bike, the mid-fat tire that I got. But I'm looking to get off the roads more often. And you got a mountain bike. Let's talk about your mountain bike.
I started with them. Well, I started investing in a good bike with the mountain bike.
Was your mountain bike first?
I bought the mountain bike first, yes.
Okay.
I had the Dick's Sporting Goods
gravel bike.
Yeah, it was a gravel bike. It was for both, but it didn't do off-road well. So I bought a hardtail Excalibur 8. That's the Trek I got. I love that thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more, as you know, specialized. Not the brand, the use case. I have to know where I'm going, and I generally can't travel anywhere with it. It's just for the thrill of the ride.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoy having a destination going. It's generally a brewery, going to a brewery, having a beer or two, and then riding back. But currently dating someone who wanted to be a little more active, and she bought a mountain bike as well. So we're going to be hitting that.
I'm excited to, obviously I won't be here by that point because she's still waiting for it to pick it up. But, I'm excited to hear how that all goes because...
I'll be respectful. I won't just leave because it's her first time in
of course, you got
a decade.
Hey, one pedal at a time. You got to stick with her, all right?
Yes.
I know a lot of times, like today, I would get ahead of you or vice versa. You'd get ahead of me, but I try not to go too far out of people's way, especially, your significant other. You got to keep them close to you. So, we talk about bikes. What is biking so far? What has it done for you that makes it so that you have this hobby addiction? That's the best way I can put it.
I'm going to go with the cheating answers, like the low-hanging fruit. Man, the endorphins it releases.
Way easier than running.
Way easier than running. And I get to feel the wind on my face.
I get to go further.
I see reward with it. So I grunt up the hill. I finally get it done, and I know that I'm doing well for myself. You're exercising. It's releasing the endorphins. But then I get to go down that hill, and I don't think about anything. I just enjoy it. And growing up and still having ADHD, like my brain goes 6 trillion miles an hour all the time. I'm always thinking about everything, overthinking, and it's just a point of release. I just get to go down that hill and enjoy it.
Are you diagnosed with ADHD?
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't know that for sure. But if you get an opportunity, check out my Movement Monday episode, ADHD, that I did. Check it out. Everybody else listening, if you haven't had an opportunity, check it out as well. It's good resources for all ages.
My parents had decided that they weren't going to use the prescription because they thought it would change me and that I was at a manageable level. Although I would like to put the caveat, barely manageable level.
Okay. And I get that too. I feel like a lot of us were barely manageable.
Yeah.
Levels.
But still manageable. Still counts.
Still counts. Exactly. So, hey, we talked about cycling. I love the fact that we got into cycling around the same time. I love the fact that we got to go for our first ride.
Of the year for me.
First ride of the year for you. First ride together. This was our first ride together. We never rode together.
We went about 4 miles once.
Did we?
Yeah, we met halfway because I was like, I'm not going all the way to you.
Oh, I do remember that. You rode out and we went to your house, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, so first ride.
The first real ride,
First
those
real ride.
miles,
Yeah.
a couple of them.
Over 5 miles. So, but ideally what I want to talk about, and it's because of the passion that you have for it, the fact you started out with a guitar, you've gone and learned bass, you've learning guitar, the drums, and even in piano. And I'm sure there's a few other ones that you can mess around with, but
Saxophone? Yes.
Nice. That was the first instrument I tried to learn how to play. And if you remember, Mr.
Tunist?
No. Now as soon as I bring it up, I'm having a brain fart. He had his wife was the science teacher.
Barakat,
Mr. Barakat.
Yes.
He was very patient with me trying to learn to teach me how to play saxophone. And then the drums. So, unfortunately, I'm not musically inclined. I love music. I love hearing it. But what about you? What is it that makes you want to learn new instruments to take your music to a different level instead of being in a band that everybody else has one or maybe two for the vocalist sometimes?
So a lot of bands, multi-talented instrumentalists in them. But for me, it was this pandemic. I couldn't play anymore. And while I now have a career day job, if you will, that I got a degree and got this job opportunity, I still do music part-time. And that cut out. And there's all kinds of relief for people who lost their jobs, even full-time musicians. But because it was part-time for me and I kept my full-time job, that income, I have to wait for the world to open up and to have live music again in order to get back. So I figured I'd make my own album. Now, albums are not cheap to create properly. They are very cheap to create if you do it at home by yourself. And then at that point, when the word properly can be used or not, I would say more often it's not properly. I wanted to do it on a budget, which didn't work, but still having close to a professional level. So I bought an electronic drum kit, and there's a band, Six Fox Whiskey, and they're actually from the area we live in. They're a national act. They play all around America. But I'm friends with the drummer, and he announced that he was doing private drum lessons. So I paid for private drum lessons for about 3 months. Once a week, we sat there, and he taught me video chat. And I practiced every day for 10 to 15 minutes since. Then I went out and bought a bass. And there's a long-running joking rivalry between bassists and guitarists, where like guitarists say that bassists just wish that they could play all 6 strings, and bassists say like, oh, guitarists can't do what we can do with 4, they need more just to try to keep up. And I always fed right into that. But man, playing bass is cool.
Is it?
It is. It's just, you're the rhythm. You and the drums are the whole foundation. And people generally like listen to the guitar and like that's the flair. And you need the flair. But you can't have that without a solid base of drums and bass guitar. And I fell in love with both of them. And I still love the guitar. It's just for a while I wasn't even picking it up. But now I'm back playing with all 3, recording the instruments, learning how to use compression, learning how to produce. Everything I'm going to do myself. Me, myself, I, no help anywhere. The only exceptions are I paid for lessons, which I don't think counts as...
No, you have to learn somewhere.
Right. And I have a friend who's going to remote in and teach me a little bit more about mixing. But he's not mixing it, he's just doing to teach me. And then I'll send the album out to someone else to be mastered, but that's normal practice because I'm too close to the project to do it.
Of course. Yeah, you don't want to be finishing it off being the one that's doing it all. You got to give it to somebody else.
Right.
Hey, so, would you be willing to share maybe like a 15-second clip of your newest song for everybody to hear?
I have a demo that is about a minute and a half that kind of cuts in and out of 5 or 6 songs that I have, and I can send that link in as a download or a link that people can hear it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely. If you have a website, right?
RobLoesher.com.
RobLoesher.com, guys. Well, I'll have that in the description as well. But do you have the demo on there so people can check it out, or will you be able to put it on there?
It will be on there by the time this is heard.
All right, you heard it. You heard it here, guys.
You heard it from Dan Hurd.
So yeah, I'm thankful that we after as long as it's been 20 years, I think now.
Probably 25. We were probably 6, 7 when we met.
No, you would think so. I didn't move to Carver until I was 9.
All right, 23.
Yes, and so yeah, it's been over 20 years for sure. And it's a friendship that like we've said, we've separated from, and every time we've come back, it's like we never skipped a beat, and I'm thankful for that. I feel like as we get older, we don't have friends like that anymore, or as many.
It's very hard to make those friends the older you get.
Yeah, and so I'm thankful that we've had that, and I'm thankful that you're part of OPAATM movement and part of my mission, and and doing your own, because you've seen it in your own ways, depression and resources that are helpful, and so I'm thankful that you can at least relate to it, even if you've never personally had any of those issues yourself or not. But being from where we're from, we've known plenty of people in our own town of Carver, unfortunately, that have lost their lives. So we can relate to it very well. As we're finishing this up, is there anything that you would like to say directly to the listeners for them to hear from you?
Don't stop looking for something that excites you. So for me, I was trying to run, I was trying to do football, and all of them were fun. I enjoyed it at the time, except running. But I kept pushing, and I found something that excited me. I found cycling, and it gives me that relief. And I believe everybody finds something that will give them that level of satisfaction and relief.
And it's important. I love that.
Very
I love
important.
that. Guys, definitely go out there, go try new activities. Even if it's an activity that you've done before, go out there and try it again. You never know. It may be the activity that's right for you. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Rob, again, thank you for joining us and joining me. And hopefully it won't be 3 years till we see each other again.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Copyright OPAATM Movement 2021.